Okay, so we're looking for the wavelength of light in nanometers that has this frequency. So the original equation that we need to worry about is going to be frequency, which is nu, times the wavelength, which is lambda, equals c, which is the speed of light. So from that, we know that we can figure out wavelength by dividing both sides by nu, which is the frequency. Remember that the speed of light is equal to approximately 3.00 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. That's just an approximation, but it's the one that we'll use in class. And then since we're dividing by the frequency, which is this guy up here, we're going to do 7.0 times 10 to the 14th. And I'm going to write it as 1/2 so you can see that those two are going to cancel each other out. And whatever we get is going to be in meters. I'm using this scientific calculator because it's one of the cheaper options. It's the TI-30X, and at Walmart it's like $9. So to do that math question, we're going to type in first on, and these are little parentheses buttons. So I'll do parentheses, and then I'll do 3 times 10, and then there is a caret button, and the caret button is to raise it to another power, so raise to the 8th. And then I'm going to click here to get me out of the power, close it, and then do divide, and open the next one, and do 7.0 times 10 raised to the 14th. And in this case, it's giving me a number with a lot of zeros, which is a little bit too annoying to look at. So we're going to do it in scientific notation, which is going to be second this button, and then we'll go over to science. And it's showing me that this is 4.28 times 10 to the -7. So 4.28 times 10 to the -7. And that's in meters. So we're actually not done because it wants it in nanometers. And I know from my metric system that 1 meter equals 10 to the 9th nanometers. So if I'm doing 4.28 times 10 to the -7 meters, I want to get rid of meters, so I'll say 1 meter is equal to 10 to the 9th nanometers. I put the meters down here so that I can cancel, and I'm left with nanometers. And I know that by exponent rules, I can simplify this 10 to the -7 times 10 to the 9th by just adding those two exponents. So that would be 10 to the 2nd. But also, if you were nervous about that, you can do the math on here. So 4.28 times 10 to the -7. Keep in mind there's a negative button here. It's just worn away. Don't use the negative sign or the minus sign. And then you would multiply by 10 to the 9th. And it will do that for you, just in case you are uncomfortable. So that would be 4.28 times 10 to the 2nd nanometers. And then the next thing we have to worry about is in the original question, we were given a value of 7.2 times 10 to the 14th. That means we only have 2 sig figs. So our final answer down here needs to be rounded to 4.3 times 10 to the 2nd nanometers. And you can leave it in scientific notation if you want. But if you wanted to write it back out, that's about 340 nanometers, which is in the visible range. Just so you know, that's the blue range. But yeah, so TI-30X, it can do all the scientific notation stuff for you. And if you still have questions, let me know.